was kind of a pitcher of water. Follow him, whichever house he enters, enter the house and ask the owner of the house to show you the room. Am I correct? Now, in Jesus' time, it is not normal for a man to be carrying a pitcher of water. It was the duty of the housewives or a housewife to go fetch water and carry it in a particular way. But when Jesus gave his disciples this instruction, they did not disobey him, even though it looked like what is not normal. So sometimes we might be prompted to move in a certain direction or do certain things that is not the norm. That is not the norm does not make it wrong. Of course, the way of the Spirit is not normal. It's supernatural. You might have everything around you might say to you, move, and then you have an hesitation in your spirit. But the data are correct and the indices are all clear. Looks like move. And you have hesitation to saying to you, don't move. It doesn't make you wrong. So the disciple did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover. I have said this, in a couple of my teachings in the last couple of weeks that you must have faith, believe in God, and you must anticipate the fulfillment of that which is promised. You must believe. You must do as he had bidded or as he has requested. You must maintain a posture of obedience until you have an hesitation in your spirit that says no. A number of people are waiting for the green light. When the green light has been shown many months ago. So sometimes you have to maintain that movement until you receive an instruction that says don't move. Anyway, so the disciples did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover. Next verse. When evening had come, he sat down with the 12. Next verse. I want to be fast now. Next verse, 21. Now as they were eating, he said, as surely I say to you, one of you will betray me. Next verse. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and each of them began to say to him, Lord, is it I? Now, that was a moment of reflection. Because a lot of times when God is instructing us in a gathering like this, and he's giving you instructions, or maybe something that looks like something is calling attention to certain areas of our lives that needs an amendment, sometimes we want to focus on the other people rather than having a reflection of, is this actually me? Do you get what I just said? Sometimes I want to think, I think this is, I will find a way to discuss this with my colleague at work because I think this is actually for my colleague. I think he needs to hear this. A pseudo kind of thing that used to happen. They just say, Pastor, tell them. Do you understand what I just said? Pastor, tell them. Tell them. The question, tell who? You. So the disciples are saying here, am I the one? They were not pointing fingers. Like, I think it will be Brother Judas. I think it will be Brother Matthew. They were really having a reflection. And he answered and said, he who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. So meaning that Judas was actually close to Jesus. Now in the setting of the house, the head of the house usually sits at the edge of the table. Right? John, the beloved, we know, was on the left. He's always there. The one that says, hi, I'm John. The one that Jesus loved. So possibly Judas was next. And Jesus said, because his hand was actually in the bowl at that time. All right? He answered and said, he who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. Next verse. Next verse. The Son of Man indeed goes just as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born. Next verse. Please, babe, just. Then Judas, who was betraying him, answered and said, Rabbi, is it I? He said to him, you have said it. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to the disciples and said, take it, this is my body. Which was also very offensive to the Pharisees. And as they were eating, and then he took the cup. Just continue. And then he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink from it, all of you. He gave thanks. He blessed the bread. And he gave thanks for the wine. We won't go into conversation around or teaching around communion today. But we'll find time to go into that. For this is my blood of the new covenant, all right, which is shed for the remission of sins. Okay? But I say to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. So one of the things that we reflect on when we take the communion is that we reflect on our hope of seeing Jesus. All right? It's just a moment of reflection again. Jesus, the Bible says to us, if all the hope that we have hence here on earth, we are of all men most miserable. And it looks like the conversation around eternity is not what we think about in our time. But to be honest with you, we must live with eternity in view. We must live with eternity in view. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. There's a lot of things I could discuss around what you have read, but I am going somewhere. So then Jesus said to them, all of you will be made to stumble because of me this night, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have been raised, I will go before you to Galilee. Peter answered and said to him, even if all are made to stumble because of you, I will never be made to stumble. Typical of man. Jesus said to him, surely I say to you that this night before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, even if I have to die with you, I will not deny you. And so said all the disciples. Did they actually deny Jesus? Yes, they did. Even Peter denied Jesus in front of a little girl. So if Jesus was denied and abandoned, if we have that kind of experience, I think we have an high priest that will understand how we feel. And we can always turn to him. I may not understand, but Jesus